Howdy knife peeps. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. I'm glad you're all here. I want to take a second and say thank you to the channel members. Thank you all so much. And I want to thank any of you who come in to check out my knife, my EDC content. It means everything to me. I appreciate it. If you're so inclined, if you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, it'll really help me out. So, what is the best folding pocket knife? That question probably comes up more than any other question, especially when you're first getting into the hobby, when you're getting into the knife game. There's so many choices, right? And there's so many opinions. Everybody has an opinion. And there are so many different use cases, right? What's the best knife? The best knife for cutting cardboard, the best knife for cutting straps, the best knife for taking out and batoning through some firewood, some kindling, a hard use folding knife. There's just so many different variables. So the thing about the YouTubes and YouTube videos when I got into the knife community was watching a lot of different content and kind of getting an idea of what type of things I was attracted to. A little background on me: I'm just a very basic bitch knife guy who opens Amazon packages, cuts a little stuff here and there, nothing major, nothing heavy duty. But yeah, I use my knives. I enjoy my knives. I'm a big fan of knives. But to say I hard use knives would be a misconception, right? Like this EMP EDC Nymble. When this came out, I'd seen it featured on several channels. And I found it totally unique because it was kind of a fidgety knife. Multiple deployment methods, but also really good ergonomics, a very good cutter. It was for a long time, it was my favorite knife. And all of these knives that are on the table mean something super special to me. For example, this quiet carry Waypoint here is 100% rust proof. I mean, this thing you could leave out in the salt and the sand. It's going to be absolutely fine. I think it's LC200N liners and a Van X blade. Super thin, super slicey. One of my more thin blade slicey knives. So again, most of these knives will cut paper, but that's not going to decide if it's the best knife or not. Most of these knives will get through my daily tasks. That's why they're in my collection. But that's not to say that any of these knives would even come up in somebody's top 5 or top 10. My point is, the knife community is so varied, both in their taste, what they like, and what they need out of their knives. What do they need their knife to do? How does it need to perform? What is most important about a knife to you? And I think we can all find, for me, it's kind of been the Field Duty EDC 3.0, which is a pretty old knife. And I've gotten some better knives since I had that knife. That I love very much, that are definitely top knives, but something about this knife fits me personally better than a lot of my other options. That doesn't mean I don't keep looking for better or different. So the beauty of the knife game for me, and I think for a lot of us, is it's a quest that you can kind of dip in and dip out at any time. You can find fantastic folding knives in a very value conscious, much less expensive than this Kizer drop bear. I happen to be showing it because it's a 154 cm, blacked out, aluminum handled, fantastic bar lock EDC knife for well under or right around $100. And then a knife that just punches way out of its weight, a Civivi Vision FG, the Civivi version of the SNEX design that we brought to market with the Vision R. This knife in Nitro V is actually, in a lot of people's opinion, mine included because of the snappy thumb studs, a better knife. But it's an absolute winner for me. For you guys, it may be, but it may not be. The Hinderer XM-18, one of my absolute favorite profile knives, the way it fits in my hand. I beat the absolute heck out of this knife. I should take better care of it, but it's my user. I've got several Hinderers. This is the one that I really love the most. The field duty, something about this knife, for me, speaks to me in a very, very loud way. And then I can't deny the power that this Evo 3.0 has over me, because it's a wonderful, wonderful knife. My point to this is, what I like, you're not expected to like. You're not required to like. You don't have to like, or you can like it very much. You can think it's crazy. That's the beauty of all of us coming together, talking about what we carried, learning about different knives. Because on the flip side of that, when I bought this knife about 3 years ago, I would not have considered this as a knife that I would have been interested in. You could just take that off to the side. That would not have been a possible knife. This little guy I didn't even know existed. I just learned a middle finger flick. So for me, this knife was more of a fidget toy, something to play with, than it was a knife. Then I realized how well, this is an older M390. The ones that are on sale on his site are LMAX, but that it's a great cutter. And I own almost every EMP EDC design since then, with the exception of the Warncliffe, because I love their designs. So this actually changed the way I use knives. And then you've got the Benchmade Bugout, a knife that I had a couple of different variations. This is the BladeHQ exclusive in 20 CV. It had G10 handles, which is an upgrade from the FRN. Then I added these mate and boss scales that I'd been looking at and finally decided to pull the trigger on. And this has turned into a fantastic carry knife for me. I love it. It's simple. It's a Benchmade. Not a lot of fancy there, but it is 20 CV. It is very light, and I love it. And same with the Chaves. Something about the Chaves. I love the G10 for one. It's just a beefy knife with a deep hollow grind that will absolutely shave cardboard or paper, make confetti if you need it to, but it'll also ram through a car door because it's got a very thick, beefy M390 stock. And then some people, the perfect knife for them, because they carry bigger knives, may be an AD10 size knife, an AD15. And that's great. If the knife fits, because it's a tool, and if it fits your cutting, prying, knifing needs, it's going to be a perfectly fine knife. Is it going to be the perfect knife? Is there such thing as a perfect knife? I think a lot of people in the community will tell you they get to a place where they pick up a couple of knives and they wonder if they've reached the pinnacle. And I can tell you, if you keep experiencing knives, you will find things that surprise you, that excite you, whether you'll ever or I'll ever be able to buy them. It was kind of like when I did the review, and I'll try to tag it to the end of this video if I remember, of the Craig Brown Cortex XL. Was that what it was? I forget the name of it, but very unique frame lock, something I'd never seen before. And then it had a very unique action, had a lot of very neat things going on. And that's what I like seeing in the knife community and in the knife design community. I like seeing lock types upgraded, changed. I like seeing what different minds, because all these come from different minds or groups of minds, come up with to put together things that I find attractive. Do I think I've found my favorite knife yet? I may have. It may be in my collection now. Do I think that? No. I think there'll still continue to be knives that not only get my attention, but that really fill a need that uniquely I possess, because my need will be different than your need. But it'll come out, I'll like the look of it, I'll like the size of it, I'll get it in, I'll get to experience it, I'll realize the detent is better than I expected, the ergonomics will fit my hand just perfectly, the knife will do something that this knife doesn't, and I will have a new favorite knife. I will have a new number one. The trick is, how do you find that knife? And that's up to each and every one of us. How we look for knives, how knives find us. I can tell you a couple of these knives, my grails, like this, and my SPK Lamia, and even my Evo were kind of flukes. I got lucky. Right place, right time, right person. But they are all fabulous knives. I love every one of them. They have different places in my collection, right? So tomorrow I'm going on a hike. I might carry my Hinderer. I'm going to the beach. I might carry my quiet carry. I'm going out for an overnight camping trip. I might have in my pocket my 8010. I'm going out to dinner. I might have my mini Arius. I'm heading into the office to work. The Bugout's always a good choice there, as is the Drop Bear and or the Snex. Going out on the town, take a little pokey sticky Liong Ma field duty, take my Nymble, something that's going to be fun, something that I'm going to be able to, use in that type of setting. So really, it comes down to, I hope there's a perfect knife for you. And I hope you found it. Because then you don't have to go through all this knife stuff and keep looking for something that in all truth we'll probably never find. Because I know me, the way I obsess over these tools is I'm always looking for what's next, what's better, what's different. Hopefully at some point that will subside and I'll be able to just focus on the knives at hand, the ones that I've really come to keep in the collection, that I really like, that I really love. And guys, the perfect knife can be at any perfect price point. And as long as it's perfect to you, or better yet, if it's not perfect, but it's a knife that works for you, you found a knife for the perfect time. So you've got the perfect knife for the perfect time. It doesn't have to be a one and done thing, right? So bottom line is, if you are on YouTube exploring knife content, find a lot of different creators who'll show you different knives. Get some ideas of things you like, is kind of how I look at it. And then, should you want to try one, order from a reputable manufacturer like BladeHQ, and the reason I say them, or River's Edge Cutlery, or GP, someone who has a return policy. Someone who, let's say you get in after seeing a couple of different videos and some cut tests, you think, I want a Drop Bear. I think that might be a good knife for me. But you get it in after you paid your money for it. And you don't want to go beat it up, but something about it you don't like. It doesn't fit your hand. It's not what you thought it would be. It doesn't cut the things that you need it to cut. For whatever reason you're not pleased, you can reach out to that company, because I've sent several back to BladeHQ, and they'll take them back. And they'll either give you store credit to get something you want, or they'll charge your car to purchase. So my point is, I hope you find your perfect knife. I've yet to find mine. I've found some perfect knives, but for me to be able to say, John, grab one and go, I've got a favorite, but then I've also got reality telling me that some of these would be much more profitable to me to one and go. But for one and cut, for right now, just nothing beats it, guys. I love it. Very interested in the 3.5 KUF he's putting out, the integral, but that's probably going to be well out of my price range, especially now. But guys, I'm glad you watched. I hope you found this somewhat conversational, maybe educational, into when we're in chats and we're talking about American knives, we're talking about blade steels, we're talking about heat treats. We've also got to realize blade geometries, that everybody's got different needs, right? And everybody's got different budgets. So as long as they found a knife that suits their needs, I think we can all come to the agreement that they're in the community and they found a good knife, and if they stay in long enough, their needs will change because they'll see something else that catches their eyes, like all of us did. And some of us knife people, myself, who I can speak for, aren't the brightest of the bunch. We will buy things we don't necessarily need because they are cool. And to me, that's reason enough to buy something. But guys, I appreciate you watching my kind of what's the perfect knife ramble. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining. I'm glad you're here. I do ask, if you haven't had a chance and you're so inclined, to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon. But most importantly, look out for that guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart and choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.